This is a really big step for the downtown. We all appreciate your hard work on this.
It's shocking.
Here we go.
With that endorsement from Mayor Ray Arroyo and a dad pun from Borough Attorney Russell Huntington following unanimous approval, the Westwood Council passed an ordinance on Tuesday night to bring the Bergen County Borough one step closer to installing electric vehicle Level 2 chargers from Blink Charging. Council member Cheryl Hodges led the effort.
Our mayor is very forward-thinking, and we learned that the programs were readily available for installation of these EV chargers. There's a lot of grant money out there right now, and we did some research and found that we could probably bring this to our community for a very minimal cost. And we felt that it would be a good amenity to the downtown district. We have a very robust downtown, as you can see, a lot of shopping, restaurants, and we felt that there's so many more EV electric vehicles on the road today. And with the anticipation over the next 5 years and of the growth of that industry, we felt that it was the right time. We compared several products that we looked into. We started out looking at Volta, we investigated Juicebox, I think ChargePoint was another one. Those are all very popular. But we have a gentleman in our town who's very well versed in this industry, and he acted as a consultant to us to help point us in a direction. He's worked with Blink for over 10 years, does a lot of installation with them, has worked with the company, and really felt that they were the best option for us.
EV charging stations are a lot more common than even 2 years ago. In northern New Jersey, for example, they can be found at the Garden State Plaza Mall in Paramus, this parking lot at Hackensack University Medical Center, and soon at the ShopRite parking lot in North Bergen. Just 1 block south, Darius News broke the story that Tesla has started a joint partnership with Starbucks, which also announced in March, quote, a new pilot program with Volvo to help electrify a driving route from the Colorado Rockies to Seattle. The full transition to electric, however, will likely take decades and will often be expensive. In densely populated North Bergen, according to Jesse Karp, development manager and design lead for Tesla's supercharger in the Northeast, while testifying before the North Bergen Planning Board, because power in the area is overtaxed, the grid is severely constrained in the area. Local power distribution will be increased from 4 kb to 13 kb, an upgrade Tesla will incur at a cost of $375,000.
We have worked with public service. We have already been approved for our Make Ready grants, and they will cover any expense up to $30,000 per lot to install these chargers. So the service is here, but it has to be run from the pole to the parking lot. So we have a contractor who will do that.
So there will be an upgrade necessary?
There's not an upgrade. The service is here. Because the power is here, the 4 spots will be right here in the middle of this lot. They won't have to go far. They won't have to bring the power far. So this is an ideal spot. We could have put it anywhere in the parking lot we want to, but doing it here is great, so people know that it's there, number one. And the parking spaces will be striped for EV charging visibility, so people know that it's there. And we don't have to tear up any of the asphalt. So again, for us, doing this at the lowest possible expense of the taxpayers was the most important part of this. We chose to do a hybrid model. So they have several options when you work with them. The model that we chose is a hybrid. So they supply the equipment, and we pay a cost of $12 to $18 per plug for network fees, and we share the revenue with them. They get 60% of the revenue, we get 40%. It's all done through their computer system. They have a proprietary network, and everything is done through there. We'll have a login. Everything is transparent. You can see the amount of usage, the time of day that it's being used. It has great reporting tools. The fast charging with these chargers, they tell me that it will charge in an hour anywhere from 40 to 65 miles, and it's about $5.
Have they given you an estimate as to how much revenue to expect yearly?
No, I think we're a little early in the game for that. So that was one of the other reasons we didn't want to own the equipment. A couple of things. We feel that, there's going to be a lot of changes. There already have been. And, having a partner that manages the equipment and the maintenance of the equipment was something that was appealing to us as well.
According to projections released in March by the Energy Information Administration, part of the U.S. Department of Energy, quote, petroleum and natural gas remain the most consumed sources of energy in the United States through 2050. All renewables combined will total 44% of U.S. electricity by 2050, EIA added. They also project, quote, total share of U.S. fossil fuel power generation decreases from 60% to 44%. In 2021, renewables accounted for 12% of total energy consumption, with petroleum and natural gas combining for 68%, according to EIA. Hodges says Blink chargers will be level 2. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, more than 80% of the 122,000 electric vehicle supply equipment ports in the United States are level 2.
We have 4 municipal lots, 3 lots that we're going to put charging stations in. This is one. There's another lot that's a block away. We call it Center Avenue North. And then there's a lot on Fairview Avenue. And each of these lots will get 4 charging plugs. So there will be a total of 12 spots.
On an early Tuesday evening, Darius News asked area business owners and workers for their viewpoint about the EV charging plan, including Jack Hausman, a college student using a Chevy Bolt to deliver Chinese food. What is your opinion about that, and would it help you?
Yeah, I mean, my car is not electric, but my parents' cars are. This is my dad's car. And I think that having more of them just makes it more accessible for people to have electric cars, which is probably good in the grand scheme of things.
How long has your family had electric cars, and what's your experience with the convenience?
So the Tesla's really easy with the superchargers all over the place. You can always kind of figure it out. So whenever I go on a long trip, if I am going to take an electric car, or any of us are going to take an electric car, we take the Tesla, because it's just easy to supercharge. It takes 20 minutes. Something like this, it takes like hours to charge it, so it is inconvenient if you're going to go on a longer trip where you can't make it all the way there on one charge and back.
I don't support it because already we have shortages in parking, especially on Fridays and weekends. So it'll take away space from regular car, and people have to go round and round to find a parking spot. So I don't think it's such a hot idea.
Do you think maybe it'll bring people who normally won't come because they know they can charge while they shop and eat?
I don't think so.
Okay, so can you tell me, just repeat what you told me before, how long have you been here?
23 years.
Okay, and what is your experience, what do your customers tell you about parking?
I always have to provide them with quarters because, they are out of quarters or something, but they are usually okay, but on Fridays are so bad. I don't know, maybe it's combination of the sports club and the movie theater or whatever it is. I myself cannot find parking spot. I drive in the mornings to Fort Lee by Bank of America, and they have dedicated like 4 or 5 spots to electric charger cars, and it's always empty, and we have to find parking spot for ourselves. You cannot park in those spots. It has to be always clear unless you are charging. I've never seen cars charging there.
I think that it's a good idea because it gives people the option that if they do have an electric car that they will be able to charge their cars in the parking lot. But I have seen some Door Dashers and customers pull up their electric cars up here. when they come in to get their orders.
Oh, okay, great,
Yeah.
great. Did you notice what kind of cars they were driving?
I've noticed there are a lot of Teslas.
I would be curious to see. I have been doing business in Westwood for 12 years. Parking availability has probably been the #1 complaint from every year that I've been in town. I moved to Westwood in 1999 personally, so parking in that downtown district is an issue I'm far too familiar with. I would be curious to see if the 6 additional spots would bring additional customers, or would the 6 additional spots that are actually removing 6 available spots in an already restricted parking environment actually hurt the business. So I don't know what the carryover is going to be. I guess I'm curious to say. If I had to make a personal recommendation, I would say to try to focus on adding more additional spots to the town as a whole, and maybe not worrying about whether or not you can charge your Tesla here, because I think that's not the first issue that we should be addressing.
What would be your response to business owners who are concerned about losing spots?
Okay. What I would say to that is the terms of the agreement allow the borough to regulate the use of the spots. So if we find that this is something we need to grow into, we still have the ability to sign the spots for conventional vehicles. That's not completely handed over to automatically to electric vehicles. We do control, the use of the spots. And of course, we want to make them available and we want people to use them, but if we find that we have to sort of grow into that, we can sign the spots in a way that we can use conventional vehicles there. We can park conventional vehicles there. Well, there are truck fleets that are now going hybrid as well, right? And when you look at in sort of the area, how many stations like this are available, there aren't that very many. So Westwood is known as the hub. There's a lot of traffic that moves through Westwood. In fact, there was a parking study that was done when we did the re-signalization of the railroad, and Westwood Avenue and Broadway on one day, like a Tuesday, 7 to 7, there were 13,600 vehicles that went through. And some number of those vehicles are going to be electric in the near future. So we think we're positioned correctly for this.
Will Blink chargers prove useful in Westwood? Darius News visited Blink sites at the Holiday Inn next to Newark Airport, a commercial lot across the street from the Turtleback Zoo in West Orange featuring a Dunkin' Donuts and a Kessler Rehabilitation Center, a parking lot on Moore Street in Hackensack, and an Audi dealership on Route 4 West in Paramus. The Audi vehicle was the only one using a charger. None of those sites, however, is a busy commercial downtown strip like the Westwood Avenue area, which features significant vehicle and pedestrian traffic. Councilmember Hodges says the Blink chargers might be ready by late July to early August.
I think that's a realistic timeline. We already have all the quotes. We already have the contractors lined up. The money has been set aside. And I don't see a reason. It's just going to be a matter of the permits, because we do need to file for permits. And there are drawings that have to be done before the permits can be issued. So depending on that contractor, and how long that process takes, it could take a month just for that to happen, quite honestly.
Darius News requested an interview or statement from Blink, which has their U.S. headquarters in Miami Beach. They replied via email, quote, "Hi Caesar, thanks for reaching out. Working on a request for you. I'll respond shortly." No statement was forthcoming. If there is a statement, it will be posted in the description box below the video window. Reporting from Westwood, Caesar Darius.